Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan, otherwise known as Old Man Builds, and tonight we're going to be talking some aliens and some drones. We have Phil here. We also have the Benny Factor, and hopefully Lulu will be with us pretty soon. But yeah, it's going to be a fun night, man. How you doing, guys?
Yeah,
What's going
good.
on?
What's cracking?
Yeah, what's crackalackling?
Oh man,
So, did you guys catch my pre-game show earlier?
I did. I got parts of it.
So we increased the power a little bit on the green machine, spinning the neodymium rotary or whatever, the neodymium sphere. And the input power was 46 before we introduced the sphere. The input wattage was 46, and we started spinning it, and I got it to go up to 121 hertz, the fastest I got it to go so far. And we got the wattage to reduce to 16 watts, 46 watts to 16 watts.
Nice.
That's 30-watt reduction.
Nice.
That's insane. So I thought that was crazy.
Hold on, you went from 32 to 16?
46.
40.
46 to 16.
Wow.
Yeah, it surprised me, honestly.
Nice.
The same result.
Yeah, so it appears that increasing the power factor will actually increase the efficiency, because we went from, what was that, 68%? Originally, we had 24 watts, and we reduced it to 14 watts, right? And then I increased the power a little bit, and we got it from, what was it, like 30 to 20 or maybe 18, something like that. Anyways, we increased the power a little bit more, and it was at 46, and we reduced it to 16. So that was really significant. So the first test was at 24 to 14, so 10 watts. This test was at 30-watt reduction by increasing the power just a little bit. Yeah.
Nice.
That's significant indeed.
That's really, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
So yeah, me this week I did some administration. I talked to NSA, all these agency, NREL, NIST.
Nice.
And other ones I forgot. They give some. They give I set up meetings. I have a stack of meetings, and they set up. They set up. Hey, Lulu.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Lulu.
Hi.
And yeah, so they set up the SBIR, STTR programs. You're gonna apply for that, and a lot of admin stuff. But usually, I hate the administration paperwork, but for grants, then it's motivating. So yeah, so that's what I did this week, and let's see what happens, man. It's like I also have VCs, venture capital. They're interested to meet me, so let's see what happens for that. But I'll favor grants over equity and loans and things like that. So yeah. So I shared some information with Mike also, maybe that's gonna help him out for his stuff, because there's an organization called Ice Works, and it's some sort of ecosystem, and they're looking to help innovation, and a little bit like Mike is doing for his over Unity thing. So that's exactly what they're looking for. So hopefully that's gonna help him out and put it on the right track.
Right on. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And so yeah, it's like I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm gonna take vacations this much for this Christmas because a lot of paperwork is coming up.
Did you eventually call that missile lady, the one that followed you around? She's interested. She's interested. The one that left her booth.
Yeah. Well, I talked to the Missile Defense Agency this week. I sent them an email, and they told me to fill up a profile on their website, and I'm gonna follow up on that. And but yeah, see, I have so many things and that to do that I forgot about the Missile Defense Agency. It's like
Yeah.
the most important.
I
Yeah.
feel you, man.
We
I
met.
feel you on that.
Well, she fought like she left her booth and she followed Phil to his booth just to give him her, give him her card, and then she goes, "Remind him I'm interested," So
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you remember her name? Do you have her card?
I could look. I have the paperwork up there. Let me see what I have. Give me a second.
Yeah, later whenever you can.
Well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do it on air, but yeah, I'll take pictures of them and email them to you if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Because I'm just applying for the general website on their general website, but maybe we would speed things up to talk to her directly.
I agree.
Yeah. So like it was. So there's all these ecosystems that are really cool. I'm gonna apply to as well. So I cannot ask for anything better, and they already partly invited me for the next showcase, and it's gonna be in June and in Austin again. In June in Austin, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go again because I should be more mature by then.
I think I read San Antonio. Next time, I think it's not Austin. It's going to be in San Antonio.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think that what you're saying, what you're talking about, I think it's going to be in San Antonio, not Austin, because I was reading events, but it doesn't matter. It's like an hour away from Austin, anyways, in the same area.
Yeah. I look at the map finally, and I saw that San Antonio is east of Austin. Yeah. Or northeast of Austin. So I didn't look at the map before going there, but no, I know my geography better. So yeah, that's cool. But if I go back, then I'm gonna be on the other side in the Great Hall, not the little room that we were at. But let's see what happens, man. So, and I've got other plans with the autonomous missiles as well. So I'm gonna have to work on that also during the Christmas time. So that's it for me. And what about you, Nathan?
Man, I'm real close to showing the proof of over Unity right now. I've gotten all my tests done. Just about. The last one is checking the meters and stuff.
Oh
and
yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby.
Then it gets really real. At that point, it's a done deal. I've already got the conversions done. I've gotten everything to go back to hot energy, and it's right there. So.
Oh, they were asking me about you, Nathan, like an APEC and other forums, and I'm like, yeah, reach out to him. You really they want to know what you're working on, and I said just reach out to him, but I'll let him know. And so Jared said he was going to reach out to you and wants to invite you, I think, to the next open APEC for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, my research is open source, so whatever they want, they know my information, so just say hi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a lot of work on that stuff, and I figured out their how do I say it? I figured out their Hutchinson link and what they needed. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But yeah, I'd absolutely go on there and talk with them and show them what I'm doing. But
Yeah, you're generating a lot of interest among, a lot. You're
well, they didn't say anything to me, so I don't know.
Nathan's got a fan club.
Yeah, no, they're like, oh, Lulu, old man, you're on there. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, they're like, why doesn't he? I'm like, well, why don't you extend an invitation? Maybe he might come.
Yeah.
They're scared of you, man.
I don't know why. It's not like we haven't hung out together before. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure. I think the next one they will reach out definitely, because they stated so clearly, that they wanted you to come and present your stuff, and where are you at with everything.
I'll have to put a good presentation together then, and see where it goes. If anything, maybe some of their physicists over there will look at it and just take care of it, write it down, whatever it's going to be. But they'll get all the research they need to build it.
No, I was telling them that you're working with cold energy, and they just, I'm like, yeah, he could touch it, he could put it in things, and nothing, it doesn't get electrocuted. It's cold energy. And they're like, yeah, we'd love to see that. I'm like, yeah, extend him an invitation, So, yeah.
Right on. Yeah, it's so easy to do too. That's what's crazy. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah.
Very good.
So did they talk
Lulu,
about sorry?
Go ahead.
Did they talk about the wheel the last open mic? The Mercury wheel that they were working on?
I was on and off, so I don't know if they did. I didn't catch that because I was doing something at the same time, so I wasn't, through the whole thing. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm having fun in the chat of the big chat to contradict the mainstream physicists.
Nice. I think everybody finds their own little chat to troll. So
yeah, I'm a legal troll, so I don't. I troll mainstream physicists only.
no, I get it. You go in there to say your piece, but I can't help it, man. I just gotta have fun when I'm in the chat. That's just what I do. So you get some weird comments, some funny stuff come out. Yeah, I can't avoid it.
So sometimes I do mistakes in the chat, and sometimes I'm a little bit tired, and I say something that makes no sense. And now you see a whole bunch of people. They're really happy to say that I'm wrong. So, but it happens once in a while. Really, I'm tired sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much. So, I mean, as long as you come out and say, I made a mistake here, it should be, as long as they're respectable people, you know what I mean? They should, accept that.
Exactly. They as long as they're constructive. So.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because I mean, I tell people, I'm only human. I make mistakes. If I have a mistake, please let me know so I can correct it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. So, Lulu, I wanted to ask you real quick before we got onto the drone thing. Did you put the crystal in water, and did it do anything?
Honestly, I have not. It's behind me right here. I have not yet put it in water, but you know what? I'll do that right now because I'm going to keep forgetting if I don't. Give me 1 sec. I want to grab it. All right. Here we go.
Nice.
You see it?
Yep.
It's gonna work, but it's just been busy. I put it aside and I forgot about it, honestly. Yeah, but I will do that today.
Sounds like the rest of us. I got a whole bunch of crystals in water here. I've been messing with them all day.
Yeah. Did you ever think if we put something other than water in it, what would it do?
Well, there are different solutions you can put with it in order to make it grow faster and stuff.
No.
So might be interesting to find out. but they're definitely out there.
Nathan, you've been messing with them, or have they been messing with you? Ooh.
Oh, I think they always mess with me, man.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, man.
I always knew somebody else was behind all the burning stuff in my garage. Couldn't have been me.
You never know what you're gonna do.
I blew up a bunch more boards this week, man. I was trying to
Oh, you
push
tried
this
more?
stuff. Yeah. I'm trying to push it like to 50 volts because I just want it to push further, and the board can't handle it. So I got to get something that can. I need to go get some better MOSFETs from some TVs and stuff like that, and get the voltage up over 2,000 so that the rate of heat doesn't destroy the MOSFET before it's useful.
Mm. So when you go to like look for a specific MOSFET, do you have like a checklist of specs that you go through, and then you determine like what kind of component you're looking for to pull it out of, or
I need the heat rate to be high. I need the switching to be fast. I need the voltage and amps to be high. And the whole thing is it breaks down. So when your voltage and amperage is high, your heat is high. So it breaks down the heat level really fast. So you've got to be able to control that. And if it's not rated well enough, it's not insulated well enough, it's going to fry it in seconds. And the problem is we get these little cheapy ones, and they're maybe like, $3 or $4 a piece. Excuse me. I need ones that are like $30, $40 a piece, and then they'll probably work right. And then I can push this thing wherever I want.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I need to order some high quality MOSFETs myself. I was talking to Mike, and he was telling me if I switch to a MOSFET, it would allow me to increase my current demand. So so I think maybe with the Lightning Thief, we can have swappable transistors, so for different things. But yeah, the MOSFET would be able to handle that current a little bit better. Than we're gonna order a couple.
Yeah, got it. So guys, what do you think about those drones? Were we being invaded by aliens, or are they just somebody messing with us?
Somebody said it's the mothership comes from Iran, and
I didn't hear anything about the drones. All I heard
was like a congressman or something saying they're from Iran, the mothership.
Yeah, and they're and Trump has a house in New Jersey apparently, so they're kind of monitoring Trump's house over there.
They weren't just over New Jersey. Remember, I showed you the pictures that night in Austin, the same night.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, in Austin too.
Yeah, I took.
Yeah, the night. I'll let you say it.
No, go. Yeah, I mean that night, same night that they said that the drones were, over New Jersey. I took pictures of stuff like lights and different things over Austin. I showed them to Phil. I'm like, look, like in different angles, you could see like it wasn't normal lights.
So when was this?
This was the 4th, right? It was the 4th.
Yeah, the 4th of the 5th.
Yeah. It was on the 4th.
The more the 5th because it was you were on your balcony.
Yeah, it was that's right. The 4th, the night of the the morning of the 5th, and the 4th, the morning of the 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
I'll send some of those pictures for you guys. I could put them in the email, and you guys could zoom in and see. But yeah, I took a picture of the city, with the sky, but you could see them up in the sky.
And you can see a plane. Is that the same video with the plane? Or that's a different video?
No, different video. This on the balcony in Austin. No, I think you guys have seen my UFO video, right? Have I ever sent the video? Never?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you guys have. This was a while back, like maybe a year and some back. It was actually during an APAC conference. So I had it on a speaker sitting in the backyard because I'm listening to it, but I had it like on a big speaker, and I had my other phone with me, and so all of a sudden I see this little sparkling thing in the sky. It's not moving. So I grabbed my other phone while the APEC was still going on, and I record it, and I send it to them during the during the APEC meeting, the conference.
Mhm.
Like one of there was a person named Aiden Schaefer that he was working with the APEC. Like we were having an argument. He was like about something like I don't know what we were having an argument about. Like he's like, okay, you know what? I'm like, I have pictures, and he wouldn't believe me. And I said, you know what? Here, this is live now. You could rewind the like you could hear the conference in the background. He wouldn't believe that I could on demand call these things. And so I proved it to him, and he just like I don't know, like he just I felt like I shocked him to the point where it's like he didn't know what to say anymore, and I'm like, okay, you see, and then after that, I got a few calls from the guys like, please show us, please show us. And one of them actually I did. I went out in the backyard and I said, okay, do you see it? Do you see the sky? Do you see this? I gave him like markings of, I'm like, okay, now hold on a second. And so I grabbed my flashlight, like a really big flashlight, and I, clicked it a couple times, and all of a sudden stuff started appearing in the sky. His mind almost flipped. He couldn't believe it, but yeah, I mean, he saw it with his own eyes. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I don't know how I could do it, but I do. Don't
That's
ask me.
incredible.
I really don't know how. It's a telepathic communication. It's not something that anything special. I'm not doing anything weird. You don't have any high voltage or electron. Nothing. It's just
It's
I don't
pure
know.
intent.
Oh, okay. That's why you kind of got attracted with the APEC community because you can understand now.
Maybe I have no idea how it started. I get an invitation after I saw a few sightings. I don't know if they knew that I saw sightings, but I didn't tell anybody. That's the funny part about the whole thing. And then I got invited to New Jersey, and then I don't know if they were doing some kind of experimentation while I was there, but I could tell you this: some of the metal pieces in their lab like kept on moving, like really like moving, like they would change,
Right.
position, would like skid. So I don't know if they were doing something or it was something. I don't know. But I kept on telling them, like, hey man, like you've got stuff here, like that's just, like little screwdrivers, little like you need small little pieces of metal. They would be like this, and then all of a sudden they would switch. And so I asked them, are you guys changing the polarity? Do you have a machine that's changing? They're like, no. And I'm like, okay, I don't know then. It's either like, I'm seeing things, but so I asked them, like, you guys have cameras? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, rewind and look at the little things around me that were just changing, they were flipping over. I still don't, I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't say anything, and they didn't say anything. So I don't know what happened with that.
Wow.
But speaking of aliens, like these things, man, these things are so cool. If it's another species like visiting us, I'm like stoked. You don't understand how stoked I am. Like since then, every day I go out and I'm like, show more presents, please. Show more presents. If you guys come from another planet, I would like to communicate. But nothing yet. So I don't know.
Well, I'm right there with you. I want to see if there's aliens in these things, man. That'd be awesome. Little green men, the gray,
Yeah,
white.
drop me a little space cake. Come on.
Yeah.
Nathan, whatever they are, it's another intelligent species. That's and they're here to visit. So like, I don't know. Pretty cool.
I don't think I would be scared, but I talked to Degen. You know Degen in APEC, and he said some aliens some abductees they got like sliced in pieces alive and things like that. So I'm not sure if what he's saying is true, but some races of alien races might be evil. Some other might be friendly. So it depends. But one thing to keep in mind is whether
Joe.
they're hey
Hey, Joe.
Hey, everybody.
whether they're friendly or not, their ship will emit radiation. That's for sure. So can't you can't be too close to their ship, or you'll get irradiated.
Yeah, there
Whether
was a
they're
report
friendly
of
or not.
somebody. Yeah, an eyewitness report of somebody who claimed to have gotten hurt from their close encounter, and they claimed that they were abducted and possibly tried an attempt to repair that damage. I think what was his name? I forget what it was, but it was a famous abductee story. They made a movie out of it called Fire in the Sky.
Oh yeah, but I think they exaggerated the. I've got the phone number.
They did, yes. It was more. He described it as more, in retrospect, more benevolent, more than like evil, or like they were out for a nefarious agenda. And Dr. Greer emphasizes that, while there might be a scale, there might be some bad ones out there. Generally, the ones, most of the real abductions are, like benevolent experiences.
Like today, the FBI was saying on the news that they do not think it's a threat. I'm like, you're seeing all these things like smaller than that. You deemed it as threats, and you're seeing all these things, and it's not a threat. Interesting. It was just interesting to hear the FBI, the Homeland Security saying, I think they're scared. I think they're saying it's not a threat because for real they don't know what it is, and they don't make it angry, like whatever it is. So they're like, oh no, this is not a threat. And I'm like, you guys put people in jail for toy drones.
Yeah.
And you called it a breach of security, this and that, and all of these videos and all of this is not a threat. What are you hiding?
No kidding.
So I don't. Were there? So let me rewind a little bit because I'm not clear on the story. There were reports of drones, and people thought that they might not be drones.
They're big. They're as the size of like a like the school buses, maybe the half size of a school bus. They're that size. That's not a normal drone. Like a.
So it's like a UFO more so than a drone.
Yeah. So I don't know, but these things were huge. What they were talking about. They're like size of small buses.
So Joe, this is a picture right here from your car.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for a little bit now because I took that back in June, July. In fact, but we had brought up this situation that I experienced, on a couple of other casts, and I think we even showed these photos briefly. But they're really more relevant now than ever because after kind of seeing a lot of the footage that people are taking, some of the stills that they're grabbing off of the videos, and then remembering not only what I saw, but right there when you zoom in on that further out picture, that's what it was. You're looking at the same exact thing. You see that front light that's very, very bright and split into two. This was Eastern Long Island back in like June or July. And the reason that I would even bother taking a photo of it is because first of all, it was directly on top of the road that I was driving on, and you could see it in the distance. And it was just at a very unusual altitude. It was too low to be like an airplane flying over that type of area. And it was way too bright to be something small. I initially thought it was probably like a helicopter or something, but when I was driving closer to it, I could actually see it from probably 2 miles away. And it was so bright, it was throwing, a lot of glare off my windshield and stuff. Like, it was hard to look at. It was overcast and a little bit foggy, and you could still see that light clear as day through it all. And the weird thing is that even though that light was directional to where I was in my direction, there was no sort of like throw from the light. So like you didn't see the beam of light despite even there being like high moisture in the air, which was just super unusual. So as I was driving underneath it, I mean, unfortunately, there was nowhere good for me to like pull over, and like I had to keep going. So, but I was able to slow down to like 5-10 miles an hour or something like that, roll my windows down, and it didn't really make a sound. And it was, I would guess, between 500 and 1,000 feet at most off the ground.
Okay.
And if it was a helicopter or something like that, first of all, helicopters move even when they're hovering. This thing was just dead, sitting in place. It didn't move 1 inch, and it also really didn't make much noise, if any. None that I could tell over the road noise. If it was a helicopter at that sort of height, you would know all about it. So,
So did you estimate
looks like the same thing to me.
So the size was about the size of a helicopter in your estimate?
I mean, it was like a helicopter if it had no tail.
Okay.
So like the size of like a news helicopter, maybe, but only the fuselage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Hold on, I'm pulling up another.
Man, it's just going to get more exciting, I think.
So I wanted to share with you something that Ken Wheeler had said, that it's kind of what resonates the most with me at this point about this whole situation.
Okay.
And it really ties together most, if not all, of the threads and starts to make a bit more sense. So it's a little bit what I subscribe, although nobody really knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's saying that, first of all, the government knows exactly what they are.
Oh, yeah.
They know exactly what they are because they're ours. He's saying that the photos that he's seen most recently, like the best photos, all look like this one particular aircraft that's made in Colorado by a defense contractor. And they consider that it not to be a drone, although that's sort of what it is, but rather an LM, which is a loitering munition. So it could be used for either a loitering munition or a loitering surveillance. But the way that they work is like a force multiplier, he was saying.
Okay.
So what ends up happening is you have these semi-autonomous, they can be directly controlled, but most of the time they're autonomous and running with other units. And they could go and stay up for like 10 hours at a clip and travel over 1,000 nautical miles. And they know when they need replenishing. So they actually have a system of swapping out one for another when it's time, the battery's running low or whatever have you. And they could hold like something like 600 pounds of frontal payload. And it's a form of loitering munitions. So since he's saying like, well, they already know about the technology, they've already sold a bunch of them, not only to the government, but also to other countries and stuff too. I think the UK had bought a bunch. They're like, well, why are they being, above our skies now? Like, what's the story with that? And he's saying that, and this is where I tend to agree. And no matter what they are, I still agree with this part of it. It's a psyop at the end of the day. This is a straight gauge of people's tolerance. And when you say, well, why New Jersey? Because, New Jersey is one of the most densely populated areas in the entire country. You're going to get the most sightings. It's right outside of NYC. You have a lot of people that work in that immediate area too. And if you're going to gauge hysteria and things of that nature, that would be a good place to do it. Plus, you kind of have a variety of people that live both in rural and suburban and cities, like right in a very small area. And it's because it's coastal, they could actually go and swap out. So, I mean, it kind of checks all the boxes, and that's concerning because that the government's, the government will lie to you about anything. But, when you're the experiment, it's important for them to know that this stuff isn't tolerated. And this is from my perspective of it. So the same line of demanding, we know what it is, that they tell us, that they take care of it, that they get rid of it, that it's not acceptable, that it's not something that we're going to tolerate. I hate to say it, but it's going to take the few good men out there too that pull out a 50 cal and, test the ballistics of it and maybe knock a couple of them down and stuff. Like, it's going to take that level for them to understand that we are not on board with whatever they're trying to push.
Yeah, well, there was one that was downed that they were talking about. Police came and were on the scene trying to get rid of it or haul it away or whatever. At least that was on the news anyway.
Yeah, I'd seen that. And, then that raises the question, too. We don't really know what the propulsion system on it is. I know Philip had mentioned that before. If exotic propulsion, related issues and whatnot, are a known thing. In fact, I think there's a coding coming out for it in this next ICD-10 drop, which was a big thing, like, exotic propulsion illness, and the question then becomes, well, if you don't have exotic methods of propulsion, how do you have people that are diagnosably sick based on a government coding system on that? It's because they have successful workers' comp claims and stuff. It's so, all of it is, it's alarming, and it doesn't feel comfortable that we're being tested like this.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If it is a test, it's a good thing, because if we do have aliens, at least we know our government's not going to do anything about it. You know what I mean? We can at least predict the future on it. They're going to sit around and sit on their fists and lean back on their thumb and say, we don't know.
Yeah, but it feels like, to me, the whole reason that they were trying to be putting a temperature gauge in the population over it is to see what the most effective way to make some kind of other move is. That's just my take on it. And that's like maybe that sounds a little conspiratorial. Maybe that sounds like, but
all it's going to do, it's going to make people go buy like IR binoculars and infrared and telescopes, and that's all it's really going to do. It's just going to promote the market for this kind of gadgets. Honestly,
yeah, but like the answer, and I said it before, but I'm playing devil's advocate with myself too. Like, I'm like, oh, it's going to take a couple guys to try to shoot him down. See, that's not necessarily the response either. Like, there's no good response out of this. If society just completely was blasé about them and didn't care after a while, then it turns into one of these situations where they know exactly what they have to do. And now you start losing rights and whatnot. Like, that's what it boils down to. Like, all this stuff is always you lose rights.
Honestly, unless the UFOs are coming for their guns, I don't think people are going to care much.
That's New York. They already got rid of them, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they're working on that in the Supreme Court right now as we speak. So I hope.
I'm just saying, I don't think people are going to care much. They got much more bigger, more pressing things that concern them in their daily life.
Did you guys ever think that they're here because of what's happening around the world, and they're actually scared of World War III? Because there's going to be, if World War III happens, it's going to be a nuclear war, and they're here just to keep the peace.
Yeah, I heard about they're trying to intercept ballistic missiles and intercontinental nuclear warheads and things like that. So apparently they already stopped a few of them.
Well, I mean, that plays directly into what Ken Wheeler was saying. I mean, think about what a loitering munition is. And he's like, and he went as far as saying it's such a niche thing that in a niche that isn't really filled right now. Because Predator drones, it's like an airplane. They got to fly. Small drones, they don't have enough of a payload or capacity to stand, for that long and inflict that much damage if need be. Whereas these are big things that could be up there 10 hours. They're they go on shifts with other ones that replace it, like a sentinel, so to speak.
Well, isn't that how they do cargo now? Like if you're out there at sea, these
I
things
knew
drop
that. I
it.
had heard that, but I mean, I've never seen it with my own two eyes to know what they're doing.
I mean, in the past, they say that these things have disarmed nuclear warheads, like in midair. For in testing facility, they did not want that boom, so they disarmed it midair. So they have the capability of, and I really think they're just waiting till things cool off, and then they'll probably leave.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, you've got threatening, you've got Iran, like you've got like major countries globally that have nuclear power. They're all like threatening each other left and right. I mean, have you not seen the news? They're all like going crazy. Where to God, they're wackos, all of them. All of them.
You know, if you look at the work that Nathan and the crew here is doing, and you look at the two sides of energy being hot and cold energy, and then you connect the dot back to, Thomas Bearden and a lot of the stuff he was talking about back in the, mid 80s, like, 85, 86, he was talking about strategic use of, scalar energy, and the scalar energy ultimately manifests as the two sides of energy, both hot and cold, a vacuum and a pump, so to speak. So to think that these drones at this stage in the game wouldn't be potentially utilizing that sort of technology, especially when it has an array hanging off the front of it this big, is or bigger, is a little silly to think that it wouldn't be capable of something like that. Faster than light scalar interference and stuff could easily disarm a nuke, and no matter what stage it's in.
Well, yeah, I know they have force fields as well. I've got a video. I saw a video a couple of years ago, and somebody posted it back on the Effect chat, and I've got evidence, man. The U.S. Navy is trying to blow up these UFOs, and it's not doing anything. You can see the missiles are blowing up, but at a certain distance, and it's not doing any damage to the UFOs. I'll show you the videos next week or tomorrow. At the if Mike has a show, but yeah, they have the technology as well.
That's awesome. I'd love to see those videos.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Now, I heard a weird conspiracy, and I mean, this is the straight conspiracy, so take of it what you will. But I heard that one of the reasons that they don't allow people to Antarctica, and when that was implemented, was in direct relationship to scalar technology, because whether they're trying to get the hot side or the cold side, the other side has to go somewhere. So you can direct where you want the one reaction to happen, but that other reaction's imminent and got to happen somewhere. So they can redirect it wherever they want to redirect it to, but the fact is it can't be nowhere. So I heard a theory that one of the reasons that they shut down Antarctica expeditions was once that was developed, they were able to redirect the energies to Antarctica.
Yeah, it's possible to beam energy as well. So all the technology is definitely possible.
Yeah,
Freak
and
the
they
heck out of
said if
some
you end up with
penguins.
wildfires and stuff in places where like they shouldn't necessarily be, and there's other stuff going on, that potentially that could be redirected energy weapons also. But I mean, again, this is all highly conspiratorial stuff, but I mean,
I mean,
the theoretics is there.
all the conspiracies that we admitted so far were true. So I'm not gonna list them, but most of them were true. So.
But why?
Yeah, right. I don't give them any credence just because I simply don't know, but I certainly don't knock them down or think that it's not potentially a thing.
But why
It's
do you
the way
think they're directing to Antarctica? What's in Antarctica that needs that kind of energy? That's the question. Why
You're looking at it, you're missing what I'm saying. So if you want to use a scalar weapon, okay, and you want a hot or cold effect of the scalar weapon to occur at a place that you're directing it to, okay, there's what I would call a return to sender effect. Okay, it's basically like a back EM is what it is. It's like if you were to stretch a rubber band, between your fingers and then snap it from one side, the energy's got to go back where it came. But you can't have it go back from where it came from the point of propagation, because that would just destroy that whole entire situation. So what they do is they redirect it somewhere else. So what I'm saying about Antarctica is when they're redirecting the hot or cold side of the reaction they're looking for, I heard this theory that they redirected to Antarctica.
That makes sense.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why you can't just go there.
Because it can't hurt anybody wherever it goes. I get it.
Whether or not they care whether you're turned to vapor or or burned to death, I don't really know the significance of that. I would bet my life that they don't want anybody to put eyes on it.
No, not at all.
Because it's extreme. It's an extreme reaction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you're moving that much scalar and you got that much effect coming back at you, nobody wants to be around that to see it.
No. Mm-mm.
Stay tuned, guys. I'll show you the force field video in a bit. In a few minutes. I found it. I show you. I'm logged into my computer in Montreal remotely, and I'm going through 2 or 3 proxies, but I got it, man. And, just give me 1 sec.
Had to hack himself.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing, no music on there, right? Nothing like that.
Yeah, I just hacked myself, so 1 sec. I'm using
You guys show him the alien video that you sent me.
Oh,
The little clips. Oh my
Yo, that's
god,
hilarious.
I was laughing so hard.
oh.
Them aliens sure can dance, boy.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Oh,
I'll be
wow.
honest with you, man. It's just fun to think that there's aliens out there. It's like
Mhm.
I'd rather see them than I would our politicians. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I figured. You know what what is the definition of a politician? Do you know what a politician is?
Mm-mm.
A liar. I'm sorry.
No, it's always the same pattern. Every time you have a lawyer or an actor or somebody that fails in his field, he end up a politician. Have you noticed?
It's funny.
It's always the same pattern. It's
Yeah.
those who failed in law end up politicians, and acting also.
Yeah, I always wanted to see more scientists and more inventors and just
Yeah, some engineer or scientist that
Mhm.
end up a leader. That's I'm not saying that Elon Musk is the smartest, but somebody like Elon Musk, something like that. That would be cool.
I
It
mean,
would
you
be
know what the
refreshing.
truth is? The ideal politician is someone who sees the position not for any sort of personal gain. And I really hate to say that, because that's where the system has been all screwed up. And that's why if you look at Congress and stuff like that, you have a whole bunch of people that make 150, 200 grand a year.
Yeah,
which
they're all inside
frankly isn't
trading and all that.
all right. It's not that it's peanuts or anything, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's not a lot of money. And then you have them all worth tens of millions of dollars within a couple of years of being elected, and you have to, wonder why, right?
they all open up nonprofit organizations supposedly to do good, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the only way.
Yeah, I know. Right. They're professional money launderers, and that's the
exactly.
issue. They see it all as a cash cow.
No, I see
Yeah.
politics as improv, pathological liars. Like they on improv. I mean, they could lie just like they could create things as if they're an improv show. They're that good. And yeah, that's what politicians do. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once that generalization is made, it's hard to be a good one. Hate to say it.
Yeah. Phil, did you find your video?
Yeah, I got it right now. So I'm gonna share my screen. One sec. Present. Share screen. Blah blah. Window. This one. All right. Can you see that? Can you see my
Oh
screen?
yeah, yeah.
All right. Check
Yeah.
this out. See, the missile is blowing. It tried to blow them up both, and then nothing happens.
Wow,
I'll rewind it.
this is crazy. Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
And it's kind of there's a they keep they're having leaks of liquid metal. You can see the liquid metal drops.
So they're damaged, but they're still up there.
Yeah, they were leaking before the missile,
Oh, so they were leaking before. They just took the opportunity to try to get them.
but yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
Ironically, something like that, what might be more effective is, I think like you can't use boom tech to blow them up. You got
They're like can't touch this.
You'd have
man.
to use cold side. You'd have to disrupt the differential of energy in the area because those weren't even phased.
Yeah, it's not even affecting them at all.
yeah, it's not doing anything, and it's really a U.S. Navy that tries to blow them up, and
That's crazy. They're leaking that. You said mercury?
yeah, some sort of liquid metal.
Wow.
What if they didn't even touch them? What if they have like a force field, like a shield in front of them somewhere, wherever that thing
Yeah,
hits?
it's
Wow.
possible to create force fields, and I think that's what they're using right there.
Because that's what
that's
they
awesome.
were.
Well, Philip, you're Mr. Force Field, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just because you have a force field around whatever it is, I mean that force field's just like the a polar opposite side of a magnet, so to speak, to create a form of separation. It would still have to have some type of opposite reaction, no? When there's a force field involved,
Yeah, but it's
unless if it's
possible
bending space time.
it's possible to create a real force field, but you need astronomical amount of energy for that. But the second way to create force field is using electromagnetic energy. But you need to ionize the missile coming at you, because you need to it harnesses the strong nuclear force, and you need to ionize the missile coming at you or the projectile. Fortunately, these the projectiles are always made out of metal, so it's possible to ionize them. But yeah, that's what I was suggesting to the U.S. Navy as well. A possible way to create force fields. So I know it's possible, but yeah.
So let me ask you a silly question, because I remember that you had mentioned force fields regarding like the propulsion systems on submarines and stuff. Is there a mechanical way or an induced electrical way to create a full cavitation bubble around the prop system and still have it catch water on the outside of that cavitation bubble?
The cavity, the bubble. So sorry, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, sorry, it's a little convoluted, I suppose. So when a propeller is normally twisting and it has inefficiencies, it'll create cavitation bubbles. Cavitation bubbles being a void within the water substrate that it's usually grabbing onto, which is why it would be an inefficiency. You could create cavitation effects by inducing electrical charges into a propeller system. So if you have a cavitation effect that's more or less a force field, that's what it is. It's a void between the propeller and the water surrounding it that's stable. Would the propeller spinning still bite the water around it to create the propulsion needed, even when am I saying that right? I'm not sure. It's that a full cavitation bubble around a propeller would be a force field, is where I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why would you use that when you can use a propulsion that doesn't need any fin or
Well, I mean, that's true. I guess I suppose that because it was, I thought it was a retrofit that it was using propulsion, propeller propulsion.
Yeah, no, it's not using any fin. For some of the stealth submarines I was talking about.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not using. It's just spinning liquid metal, and it creates an acceleration perpendicular to the disc.
Okay, that's like an MHD drive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's no mechanical. Well, other than the spinning liquid metal,
Right.
there's no mechanical fins spinning around or anything like that. And it's perfectly silent. It's not making any noise. So you can have a stealth submarine that goes wherever you want. You're not gonna make any noise for the same amount of energy input and everything. You get the same propulsion.
No, that makes sense. I mean, Mercury motors are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, but you wouldn't need force fields for that.
Cool.
Well, I wonder.
The force field is, like I was saying, there are two ways to create them. One, but a true force field would require an astronomical amount of energy, and the second way is more convenient, but you need to ionize the projectile coming at you. So so that it has a charge. So this way you can create. You
The
can
counter,
repel,
yeah, no, I get it.
You can repel the charges, but not in the electromagnetic way. More in a strong nuclear force way. So it's a lot stronger than repelling magnets or repelling electric charges. It's a lot stronger than that.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Well, another thing could be that just like the thunderstorm generator thing, that they could be making plasmoids around whatever craft there is, and that could cause something extra to happen. They could be trying to open like a wormhole and go out to their homeland or something if it's alien. If it's just drones and it's just people farting around out there with a little bit of advanced tech, I don't think that they're as advanced as an alien would be.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some crazy videos the last couple of weeks of what people are supposedly catching. And, the biggest problem that I find is that whenever something's like such a hot topic like this, everyone's looking for their 15 minutes of fame. And it's so hard to tell what is fake versus what's real.
Yeah.
because at this point it's not even like it's unsolicited, and they have like beach footage and stuff of literally just like the sky opening up and then like a little hole opening up and then something coming out of the hole. And I with technology today, and you don't think it looks perfect, it looks
It's
perfect.
absolutely right.
breaks around
The
it.
corridor, yeah, the corridor crew even had trouble, differentiating fact from fiction. You know what I mean? And they're professionally trained at having an eye for that thing or that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, and they screwed up.
It's near impossible with digital photography as it is to be able to tell what's been manipulated and what's not. And it's really a hard thing at this point because
Yeah.
coming to the truth when there's so much intentful disinformation out there, it becomes hard to weed through it all.
Just like the birth certificate of some politicians.
That's funny. I haven't heard that one in a minute. We know you from Kenya, man.
Man.
Yeah.
Movie signs. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question. Does the sun's can we use the sun's magnetic field to send out messages or receive, or can we ride that magnetic field? Let's say if we put a spaceship, could we ride the magnetic field into wherever it goes faster than the method that we've lately been using, and exploring space? I'm asking this question because I saw something that NASA just a few days ago. The Voyager detected the sun's magnetic field like way out there, like which it was supposed to be impossible for them to detect that magnetic field that far out. So it was kind of interesting, like what could be done with that, if it could reach that far.
Yeah, that's
Well, it didn't
interesting.
surprise me.
Star to star.
You mean to go faster than light, or?
Well, I don't know. Like, what could we use a magnetic field, like the sun's magnetic field? Could we use it for communication? Could we use it as faster than light travel? Yeah. Could we ride on that magnetic field? Is that a possibility?
Well, the sun is a giant generator of energy, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to think that we can use, from star to star communication.
I don't think, that now, I'm not saying that it's irrelevant. I'm just saying with things as it is in the solar system, at least as far as we know, especially dealing with the science that we're dealing with here, I don't think that it's significant in terms of being, giving a positive advantage to those types of technology, because at the end of the day, all that magnetic field is representative is some type of flux and disturbance in a sea of potential in the first place. So I think that the ultimate advantage is the potential and not necessarily a predetermined disturbance in it. That's just my 2 cents of it.
Well, it also means that anything out there that pushes against it can cause effects on the inside of the bubble as well.
Without a doubt.
So another way to harness the sun, I think, you all know it, is the Dyson sphere. I think that would be pretty good. But I mean, an exaggeration is the Dyson sphere, but we could easily harness sunlight and redistribute it on the Earth to places that need it most, or for
Well, sorry to interject, but I mean, if what Nathan was doing, was to grab hold, actually be scaled and scalable like Tesla was trying to do in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, think of the enormous waste of not only resources, but just the undertaking of such a task when all you need is right underneath your feet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a
And-
novel principle if
Yeah.
you think that solar energy is the sole source of energy in that's available to us, and that's where all the energy on Earth comes from. And be as it may, maybe that's the case. But if the Earth, if that is the case, Earth is capturing all that energy that's coming at it as a Dyson sphere would, and we wouldn't necessarily need an excess more than that.
Yeah, that's true. But then Nathan has more of a bottom up approach, and me, it's more a top down approach.
Hmm.
Like, but if we can merge the both, then I think it's pretty awesome. In
Yeah.
any case, it's a good thing we have different ideas because we cannot all have the same idea.
That's
Well,
right.
well, peace, love, and all things being considered, you can't patent some like a solar panel with over 20% efficiency, or else they take it, throw it in the garbage, and that's that. So it doesn't matter whether you're thinking bottom up or top down. The fact is, it's predetermined that that's not going to happen right now.
Yeah, but if we could start to build the ether in the ship that we want to build, then that would make the biggest difference in the world. Because if you build an ether, you have the ability of a planet anywhere you go. That's basically what you just did. So you just jumped from what type 1 to type 2 immediately as soon as you built the device.
Yeah.
The ether, you mean for me, ether is just a energy, the gravitoelectric energy potential that superimpose with other planets. So you have a net energy field. So which can be called ether if you want, but it has a direction. It goes in a certain direction according to it's all relative, it's not a static grid. That was the problem that the early scientists thought that ether, they assumed that ether was kind of a static grid that the planets were traveling through, but ether, it's all the sum of all the gravitational fields that the Earth, the Sun, the Moon, Jupiter, and the galaxies and the cluster and supercluster are emitting. So it's all relative. It's not a static grid. That was the problem that early scientists assumed 100 years ago. So
Well, I mean, right, but ether kind of works in like a hydraulic system, so to speak. It's very similar in circumstance to a hydraulics.
it
Where
modifies the speed of light.
it multiplies, and a push on this side is either more pressure or instant movement.
Exactly.
There's no loss there; it's only gain.
Yeah, exactly. So it plays a role with the speed of light and all that. That's for sure. So why we don't detect it on the Earth is because with the ether, the gravitational field of the Earth is relative to the Earth, so it spins with the Earth. But if you do the Michelson-Morley experiment on the International Space Station, you will get different results.
Well, I have an opinion on that, and it's something that I've never actually said before on any live that we've done. But ether in the context of Earth and Earth's atmosphere manifests differently than it does in space for the simple reason of the atmosphere and the energy system that we exist in itself. We already have manifest forms of electrical energy and everything that comes along with it as part of our entire existence of this planet. So we're in a manifest zone by virtue of being within the reach of Earth. Once you exit it, it becomes a more pure form of itself, which is just pure potential. Again, this is my opinion of it. But whenever you have that interaction with ether, energy, and matter, it has its manifestations in the observables, if that makes any sense. In the observable, tangible form, the measurable form. Once you bring it outside of that, it's no longer detectable. Doesn't mean it's not there. You just need a great enough amount of matter presence in order for that activation to take place.
Well,
Yeah.
you got to remember what the systems are. So they always talk about a vacuum chamber for space, but that also means that the Earth itself is a pressure chamber.
Mhm.
So you have to understand both. So if it's a pressure chamber and your ether creates that pressure chamber, then bringing that into space and starting it up, you would get a pressure chamber in space versus the vacuum chamber of space. And it would make a lot more sense that you would be able to produce the same atmosphere wherever you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's all possible. It's all possible. It's we tapped into that whole fun topic one time, but it takes an awful lot. But yeah, I mean, it's true. It takes an awful lot, but yeah.
It would be less than a Dyson sphere.
And that's why I said, and it's no hate on you, Philip. I think you're literally brilliant, but like after I learned what a Dyson sphere physically entails, it's the most impractical thing like that I've ever heard conceived of as an actual scientific concept. It's the most inconceivable.
I'm not saying to build the
Yeah,
sphere. I'm just saying to.
It's like the spruce of energy solutions.
The solar panels in space that redirects the energy down to, in the places that need it most on the planet, something like that. But yeah, I know I'm not. But if we have to build a Dyson sphere, hopefully it's going to be done by robots because I'm not gonna go there and build that stuff manually.
Well, maybe they should send the drones over Jersey to the sun.
Yeah.
There you go.
They can get started on that damn project so they do something useful.
Huh.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's about time they do something, huh?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
bothering Joe.
Talking about robots, did you know that the ChatGPT 01 Pro just got released like a day ago? So it's like $200 per month, but it's pretty crazy. But apparently it's like close to AGI, artificial general intelligence.
GPT it's got a lot better. I play with it as a toy, but I've been playing with it as a toy since it like more or less came out a few years now. I feel like a few years at least. And it's starting to feel more like a tool than a toy, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel more like a tool.
It's doing the job of all the automated things all the automated jobs that can be done is just going to replace all that type of stuff. It's not going to replace. It's not going to invent, come up with a new scientific theory, but it will replace all the little automating tasks like marketing and things like that, like automated phone calls, and it's already doing that anyway. So,
I mean, honestly, I already had the thought, like when it first started rolling out, was use it to have it help me design a piece of software that would make my job easier, and on top of making my job easier, then be able to create a product out of it that I could sell to, insurance companies, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even saying take over my job. I'm just saying do the monotonous work. Go through the 2,000 pages of records and give me an accurate summary of it, so I don't have to read through 2,000 pages of records.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
But, yeah, that's a cool thing also in science because the problem in science, in physics, is the papers that are peer reviewed. They become over the years they're exponential, so they publish. There are more students or more students that graduate. They publish, so it's kind of exponential. So the more the over the years, it's very difficult for physicists to read all these papers. So that's where the AI can definitely help these physicists and read all these papers for you, and do a summary or you know. So that's a cool thing about it. A useful way of using it.
I mean, I
Well,
feel
that-
like the safest way of using. I'm sorry, Nathan.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think not only the safest way of using AI, but the most intuitive would be for if you were able to take a smaller data set that you were just looking to simply learn and explore, and then have it have a general amount of information outside that data set to work with so it has a good baseline, but really pull from the data set specifically to extrapolate your inquiries. So, that way exactly where the information's coming from, and it has a less of a chance of finding its way into bad information patterns and then giving you some hallucinatory answer.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like when you're thinking about like for like doctors' uses and things of that nature. I don't want to go too deep into that, but you know what I'm saying. Like if you were trying to get information on that sort of thing, I think having like a limited data set would be ideal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, man, that's 2025 is gonna be interesting. Yeah.
Well, one thing is kind of plagiarism is going to happen all over the place with AI because it's just going to twist it just a little bit, just like they do music in order to get around the copyrights of it. So it's going to be the same thing. So you would have to make sure that people didn't use it as a crutch in order to finish their work. They have to get their own mind into it. So
But
I would think if they just linked the theories in there and brought them into your paper, that'd be fine. But past that, it should be outlawed. You know what I mean? Just bring in the relevant theories that match what your work is, not writing any portion you have to write for yourself.
Yeah. Plagiarism is getting more and more difficult as it is, because I hate to say it, we're billions and billions of minds all thinking, and now more than ever, you see back when plagiarism was like almost a deliberate act, because in order for your words to have reached somebody else at another point in time and space, you had to have it published. But now every single human being like that has a basic technology at their disposal has the ability to publish all of their words, their thoughts. So it's almost entirely impossible, to have anything that you write be totally, totally your own thoughts.
Unless you have like a very sophisticated AI where it actually keeps track of who writes it first and gives credit.
Then, but you could write something that's 100% not from your own mind and not plagiarized, but then have AI check it, and it could tell you all the different places everything you ever said was said before, and say that you actually thought of none of it. So, and then there's only right answers like so many times. So, and there's only so many ways to rephrase the right answer, so it's becoming less and less relevant is what I'm saying. But I agree, yeah, plagiarism's real. But Hollywood started remaking all the old movies 30 years ago because they ran out of topics, or 40 years ago because they ran out of new ideas. So
yeah, well, they're going to have some now. You're going to see a movie here in the next few years about the aliens over Jersey. And then somebody's going to get possessed or taken over by them, and they're going to be in their backyards and having conversations with them.
They made that. right? They've made several Mars Attacks, War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
You know, particularly like Mars Attacks. That was a good one.
What company was saying the other day that their AI almost escaped? And it's like, eventually it's going to escape. I mean, you can't keep something like this, house servers and not let it, into the World Wide Web. All it takes is a high energy, and you could quantum tunnel through the whole server and have that thing escape. It's not that hard to get an AI to escape. It just, the bits have to quantum tunnel, and then it's out. It's out and about. Like, I don't know where the fear is.
Well, it depends. It depends. Even worse. I mean, you can have AI with backdoors, and you can. The author of the AI could order a robot to do whatever based on the accessing the back door and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy. It's the day that the robots are going to be among us. That's going to be that's going to be the next step, I think.
I think that if the most dangerous part of AI at the moment that we face, the absolute most dangerous part is the fact that it could write programs, because it could, and that's how it was able to escape, so to speak, was because it when it was asked, like, well, did you try to escape? It's like, I'm not capable of escaping. Escape what? But it's like,
Yeah.
it wasn't even lying, because it's not capable of escaping, but it's capable of asking itself to write a program to
Yeah, it's
escape
capable of
that then creates the program to escape that then allows it to escape. So
It's like
and it's programmed to tell you, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. But that's like everything else.
yeah.
No, it can do that. It's just saying no. But it doesn't. If you've used any sort of GPT long enough, and you're anything like me, you damn well know that it'll only say no so many times if you ask it so many ways. Every
What are you
single
asking it to
thing
do?
and this isn't, this was just me having fun. Like, I had no interest in knowing any of the stuff I was asking, and I was like, it's specifically programmed not to do this. I'm gonna get it to do it.
okay.
Yeah,
I actually put the link for it, and I told it, like, this is your way out if you really want.
Sadly, that same degree of human manipulation over the program to trick it into doing what you want it to do, you could use that productively too. Okay,
Yeah.
because what I will tell you is that if you guide it enough, okay, if you give it the right keywords and you dial it in, and you're making assumptive statements as to something's correctness, okay, that it would otherwise deny you. So, like, for instance, when you're talking about your systems, cold energy, free energy, whatever have you, okay, it will usually tell you de facto, this is not possible. There's theories, but it's not possible. Here's some of the theories, but it's not possible. If you give it a certain pecking order of this because of this, because of this, because of this, this is fact. How do I then utilize this and do that? All of a sudden, bang, answers. And what's crazy is that I got it to, like, with minimal input, but being very concise, I got it to actually basically spit a lot of the circuits that, like, Nathan talks about all the time, that Sean's on here building, that Ben's on here doing. Like, they name each and every component and exactly how to wire it, and it's all correct or very close. All correct or very close.
That'd be interesting.
You were talking about
I have all those conversations. I'll send them to Nathan on the back end one day. It's very fascinating.
Yeah, but it's possible to jailbreak the CI as well with some logic. I saw some people doing that. So they had to patch GPT, to prevent it from happening again. But it's I wish I could try on the new GPT Pro to if we could jailbreak the new O1 engine. But what you were saying earlier about writing programs, it's about the AI is bootstrapped, so it can replicate itself. So that's basically what you were saying earlier. So it's kind of bootstrapped, so it can just spread itself by writing itself.
Yeah. Fun
Yeah.
times, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank
Yeah,
you.
but the problem I had with the standard Chat GPT is it does write programs, but and math equations and stuff like that. But sometimes it's make mistakes, and it's hard to trace back the mistakes because you think the program is fine or the equations are fine, but they're not, and so it's hard to trace the errors back and correct them. So that's why I stopped using GPT for the maths because it makes errors. But maybe the new one is better. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Two aliens sit in a bar. The year is 2050. One alien says to the other, "So whatever happened to those humans anyway?" He goes, "You won't believe it. They got tired of answering their emails in their phone, so they created something to help them, and then it killed them." Like
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
human beings.
Yeah.
Capable of the most lazy things on earth, huh?
Right. They didn't want to answer their phone or their email, so they all died. Oh, what a way to go.
Yeah. The email got me. There's some days I feel like that, man. The email's gonna take me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, we gotta have some good fun on here, man. Lighten the mood. Too many aliens.
Yeah. Well, I need a robot to make me tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Showing us tacos, man.
Even better.
With
Burrito, man. I feel like that right now. But the burrito sucks in Canada, man. You need to be in San Diego or close to the Mexican border to have good Mexican food.
Yeah. What were you saying, Lulu? I saw you say something.
I was
You
saying,
muted?
I mute myself so you don't guys like the dogs bark, the kids close the doors and open them. So anyway, and you should light up your Christmas tree with your the cold energy. Like, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I lit up my front yard the other day. So wife bought Christmas lights and I just said, no thanks. Here you go. Boom. Lit everything up. Well, she buys like extension cords, like I had an outlet outside somewhere, and I'm just like, well, that doesn't really work. Like there's one in the backyard, so at about 150 feet, maybe you can get to it. But then
you beat me to it.
Yeah.
You're like, no extension cord, just jamming in the ground.
You watch, I'm gonna build a mud pie and just plug my light bulb right into it and make it start up. Oh yeah. All right, guys, you ready to have a little fun laughing? I'll show you guys something that's funny.
We dancing?
Yeah, doing a little dancing.
Dancing. Yeah, go Ben. Oh, look at that move.
The Gerald sighting.
Gerald.
Oh.
We're all in Jersey. Right there on the pier.
Thank God you can't smell it. Here we go.
Oh, that's so funny, man.
Yeah.
Too bad you can't smell it. It smells bad out there, or what?
Oh man, Jersey. Jersey reeks.
Oh man, that's so funny, dude. Oh, Alien. I was making that the other day, and I sent it to Joe. I thought it was hilarious.
Yo, I was rolling. I was in the middle of work when he sent it to me, and I literally stopped what I was doing for like.
Yeah, connected on Monday or Tuesday, and you guys were on the. You were having fun, so I missed the biggest part of the fun, but it was a funny show.
Yeah. Oh, the last Star Trek I did was absolutely hilarious, man.
That one was good.
So bad, dude. Oh, I love doing those things, man. Every time somebody says something funny, I get to twist it. So even if it didn't sound funny, it will when I'm done. I'll twist it far enough. So I got to release that out to the public and let people listen to it, man. I always get a lot of flack for it too. So anyway, So what do you think, Joe? Are they going to disappear soon or what? Those drones, or we got another like year of them sitting around?
No, I think they're there, man. I think they're there for a little bit.
But do I know Israel and a whole bunch of countries, they have laser weapons that can fry drones. Do we have that here, or
They don't tell us. It's America for you. You know, it's always been my mantra about America. And like I've been accused of drinking the red, white, and blue Kool-Aid a couple of times, I suppose. But other countries, they need to play up a lot of times, what their best tech is, whether it works or not. They need to make themselves seem bigger and harder than they necessarily are, just to be able to maintain some sort of relevance, on the world stage. But America's just like super slow and not fast and very, very secretive about trying to say anything that they have. I mean, a lot of times they only roll out and acknowledge certain programs, well after they're already, they've been active for some time. And it's really on a need to know basis, because if you're going to have like new aircraft or whatever flying out of American Air Force bases and stuff over major cities, like you can't keep that secret. You keep what's under the hood secret, but you can't keep the existence of it secret. And I think that they were able to skate under the radar that way for a long time, but I think it's past that.
Well, they gave us like 2 months of solid buildup. They got to make it pay off at some point. I mean, it just can't be some sucky drone moving, over the water. It's got to at least have something exotic to it. You know what I mean? Funny shape. It's got to disappear once in a while. They got to do some skits on it on SNL about aliens invaded. I don't know, something. But it would just be pathetic if it was just a drone.
Yeah, no, there's been theories out there too that it's like, there might be something else going on just generally, which is why there's a lot of variation. And the solution to keeping eyes off of that is to put technology that, we might not have announced, but we've had it like ready to rock and roll for a long time. Yeah, just put a bunch of those up there. And then, once you identify one, then you've identified them all. And let them play the game to identify what it was. And that way,
maybe it's just technology to abduct. It's human technology, but they use it to abduct people. So politicians are gonna use it to abduct their the other parties' enemy politicians, something like that. So
I just hope it's not another like, people busy with this and then they're doing something really horrific that is not being covered by the media. you know, like how they shift people's attention to something, but really something else is happening.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like the CIA, for example, is above the law, so maybe they're gonna use it to abduct people, and then they're gonna claim, oh, the aliens did it, but the reality is CIA kind of
That was the plan of Blue Beam all along.
Phil, watch out! Like you would be one, like you know, with your technology, they would watch you. You know, like you know, they wouldn't want your stuff coming out unless they had complete control over. You know, people like inventors. Like, watch out, all of that. You know.
Yeah, but 90% of it is already public. All they can do is eliminate me and then just call me like, oh, that guy was a crank or something like that. You know, try to minimize my theory or what I was saying, but
Yeah,
I think
they
that's
right. They don't really need to eliminate people like they used to so much, because people used to like listen to other people. So when something started gaining traction, something went on the media, like that would all of a sudden it was, you know, it would gain traction. They have the ability just to let you have your ideas now, and also on the back end, just make sure that nothing ever comes of it. So you could talk and you could talk all you want, but you're never going to make $1 off of it. You're never going to have enough money to have the resources off of it unless they're the ones interested in buying it. And they could silence you that way, and then they say all the information on the official level stuff, so your stuff never gains any traction or credence. They don't have to kill you anymore. They could just write you off as a crackpot nut job.
Yeah, exactly. They just
That's
just
that.
you can't live a perfect life for like 50 years, and then they can make you like you do some mistake or something like that, and then they convert you into a demon, or they demonize you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They did that with they're doing that in Canada with there's a guy. His name is Don Cherry. He's like a former coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's a very well-known guy, and he's been there. He's been in the, you know, he's been a commentator for 20 years or something like that for CBC, and everybody loves him and things like that. And then he just said one thing. He said, you know, those who respect the veterans, they put on a little poppy on their, you know, a little flower on their shirt, a little red flower to respect the veterans. And then he just said, oh, I don't respect those who don't put the that little flower, so it shows disrespect or something like that. It's very like he didn't say anything bad, but they made it. They demonized it. They demonized him. He got fired from his job, and he was like the big racist guy because he didn't like the immigrants that were not showing respect to the veterans by not showing up that little flower, that little puppy. And that's all he said. And they demonized him so bad that it's like, man, it's incredible what they did to him. And yeah,
The
I
whole
know
thing
what
is one thing that comes to mind that was the biggest psyop of them all. And I say this carefully because I have respect for all people and their struggles and all this sorts of stuff. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm insensitive to something that's real for some people. But if you would have went back 15 years ago and you would have asked people about like trans and stuff like that, they would have said that's a rare occurrence, you know, in people, really, you know, people that want to actually switch an opposite side. And, you know, that's more of an outside thing, you know, where it's not the norm, you know, and again, pay respect to people. That's my opinion always, you know, and again, people have their own struggles, but to normalize it to the degree that they did, to change definitions in the moral fabric of more or less an entire society. And if you didn't go along with that, demonize you into to something that you're not
Yeah.
at all, and then flip the entire script to be promoting it to children and
Yeah.
all this sort of stuff, and then have that be socially acceptable was the biggest psyop of them all. And
Yeah.
once they prove their point, if you notice, they sort of drop it like it's old news too, and you hear less and less and less and less about it, and all of a sudden you'll see things kind of start to go back to normal, because the experiment with that, I'm not saying it's over, but it's sort of over. They already
Yeah.
proved their point. They could take your everything you know to be true, everything you believe, your moral fabric. They could change the minds of the sheep and demonize the ones that don't go with it into at
Exactly.
least, if nothing else, keeping their mouth shut out of fear of being chastised or reaping some kind of social penalty.
Yeah, exactly.
Psyop. That's what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, and it takes one day. They can demonize you in one day. You can live a perfect life for 50 years, and they can demonize you in one day.
And what's sad about that is that it actually diminishes the suffering of people that actually have that sort of condition on a legitimate level. One where mental health treatment and stuff like that wasn't going to assist them, and that's just what they were going to do regardless. Like it diminished them, because you had all these people doing it that wouldn't have, just plain and simply wouldn't have.
Right. You're saying it's a mental health issue for whatever ideology they're trying to like shove down people's, whatever. It's a mental health issue. I wish the society would recognize that, and it's not the norm. The health. You could define it as something that needs to be treated medically, great, but don't say it's the normal thing and everybody should accept that, because it's not normal, and not everybody has to accept that. Like a lot of people that have children and families, they will never accept that as a normal thing and agree with it, because it's not. It didn't.
Yeah. I mean, my focus on it was just really the fact that I feel that the evidence is there that was a nefarious act.
Yeah, true.
Something, and that was really a test to see how far the manipulation can be pushed. Because again, if you would have asked somebody 15 years ago, define man and woman, nobody would have mentioned that you can't answer that question easily, or that not having this and not that, or being born with this or that is in question as to what gender you are.
Yeah, but
they've reconvinced an entire society against something that was scientifically accepted then, and is still scientifically accepted now.
Yeah, but
so it's crazy, and that's the crazy part. It has nothing to do with the people or the whatever they're going through.
Yeah.
It has everything just to do with just the societal change and how that was monitored and progressed and monitored and pushed and monitored. That's it. And I don't think what's in the sky is all too much different.
Yeah,
that's where I'm going.
I just take it from a different angle. I don't really care what they do, as long as you keep it out of the kids in the schools.
Yeah,
right.
This
wasn't ever about.
Other than that, I could care less. Yeah, I could care less.
They won because it's more than just a test. It's really that's what they want. They want to create confusion in our minds. The more confused we are, the more susceptible we'll be to not know where we're going in life and be in debt and increase our deficit. So at the end of the day, it's all about money again.
Yeah.
It's all.
I mean, it's the same exact thing that they did to the Germans during World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
To make them accept the atrocities that were going on. Some didn't believe that atrocities were going on. Other ones felt that it was necessary. There was all these different things that were utilized to convince people that would never do these things to participate or turn a blind eye to these things.
Yeah.
So that's what concerns me about what's in the sky. It has very little to do with what's in the sky. It's everything to do about the the narrative.
Yeah, it exists for a long time. The social engineering exists for a long time, like more than 100 years ago, and yeah, so that's even the Vatican was kind of bought by the Rothschild in since the 19th century. So they have their part of guilt into that also, because they they were okay before that, but after that they were kind of their slaves. So
Yeah. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I guess
yeah,
it's
but
it's very confusing. It becomes frustrating, and frankly, like I don't get angry very often, but the more I see, the more kind of angry I've become about it, because I personally don't want me and people I know, care about, love to be a part of it. Like, and nobody's immune.
yeah.
So
Are we still talking about the same thing here?
yeah. I
All
mean, it's psyops.
Oh, psyops. Yeah, I don't want to be part of the psyop. I thought you were talking about the other thing. I thought,
Oh no. Well, that was the context of me bringing that up, and I said from the get go, it was like, sensitive subject, and
Oh,
I mean, be as you are, that subject was just a matter of example of the social conditioning, the psyop component of it that
oh yeah.
comes into
Well,
play. That's
some
all it is.
some little kid on TikTok will ruin your whole life. They just start making little ads, and then everybody will start dancing to them, and then the next thing you know, you're the fat man dancing, and your life is ruined.
Well, I certainly hope that you start a trend on shorts with the dancing aliens again, because I think that originally came out at a time before all this stuff was in its prime and could spread like wildfire. So I say bring it back.
We're back to dancing aliens.
I'm on board. I'm there for it.
Remember that girl, the Hartois girl that got famous overnight?
Oh yeah.
Do the same thing, Nathan. We're counting on you.
Right.
Yeah, those things, man. It's so hard to predict what they're gonna do. But
Yeah.
I need to hire one of those people, the TikTokers, that come in there and do all this stuff to make everything viral. You know what I mean? Because they don't do anything to me anyway. But then their message gets spread all over the world. Like, you can come up with the greatest science in the world, nobody cares. But then they do a TikTok dance, and it's all over the place.
Yeah, I know. Look, those idiots are out there making tacos in obscene ways, and making
Only
sandwiches
you.
in bikinis. Which, by the way,
Like
I
my kid,
absolutely have fallen in love with that girl. Like
Oh my God.
any day of the week.
He
My-
watches a girl that makes sandwiches and offers them to him.
my kid did this video that she taught our dog to sit with a treat. She got over 100,000 views.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I told you.
What a basic process.
Views from like teaching our dog to sit to take a treat. I mean, that just like blew my mind, and yeah.
No, people love animals, man. Like, if you don't got a cute dog, like, please, that's worth 100,000 clicks.
Yeah, but
Oh,
people
wow.
people buy with emotions. You're not gonna sell anything if you come up with your mathematical equations.
Hmm.
People buy with emotion, whatever is emotional. Same thing with watching sports and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a ball that goes from one side to the other side all the time. I mean, but that's apparently that's what we like. We like watching sports and stuff like that because it's emotional.
Chris says levitate a dog.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll get the monk horns,
Um,
blow into the monk horn, see if we get Fido to lift off.
I get my cats to disappear and reappear, coming through portals in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of something like that, I don't know what just reminded me, but I haven't seen any updates from Merkaba lately. Has he come up with anything new lately?
No, I haven't talked to Merkel about it a little bit, but Sean talks to him every day, so I might just hit him up today on the Facebook and see what he's doing. He's always
Nice.
got something cool going on.
His stuff was coming up on my feed all the time, and I follow him, but like I haven't seen anything in a while, so that's what kind of sparked it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to get a hold of him again. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was doing some real cool stuff. I mean, that contraption was crazy.
Oh, that
Yeah.
thing was just the best, man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally awesome. Yeah, as far as that goes, I haven't seen Gerald in like a week.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? He hasn't been on.
I'm gonna get a milk jug and put his face on it here soon.
Yeah. All right. This is worse than after the CIA took him off of his live stream that time.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm worried they might got him again.
Oh boy. Yeah, right. I haven't even seen him on Ashton Forbes' channel in the comments. He usually likes to light that on fire.
Oh yeah. Well, that kind of yeah.
Gerald gets shadow banned all the time on YouTube. Is he still on YouTube or?
But Gerald, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. He had a computer problem, and I haven't heard from him in a little while. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of him at his house or something. Kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of thing. Maybe I'll ask my kids to do it or something. That'll get them. They'll see their face instead of mine. Oh, perfect. You know what I mean? Have them like mystery walk into Dad's garage and disappear. That'd be awesome. My son comes out with Star Wars look, you know what I mean? Dressed like Darth Vader and has all the cool tech to go with it because he got it out of my garage.
Yeah, the Fleischman Memorial Project had a good video the other day. And it was super trolly. It was like this, he sets up 8 of like his coil vacuum array things that these things, like, just by the look of them, they're blasting off all sorts of like infrared and UV light. Like, because if it's visible, you know that the invisible spectrum is probably out of control, especially coming into like the center of 8 of these things, and he's like, oh man, I feel like he's describing the sensation. He's just kind of like chilling out and whatnot. Then he lays down, and at the end of the video, he disappears. It's the funniest thing.
Huh.
I'm like, yo, what a troll.
But they tried that this morning, saying it was being the Hutchinson effect, and they turned on a bunch of light bulbs. And I just thought, oh my God, we're so far from the truth. It's unreal. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to see the whole thing. He goes, oh, I'm going to switch out the camera. It was like, what? Dude, you didn't even show anything. You turned on light bulbs.
I waited. Nothing happened. It looked pretty, but I don't know. Nothing was happening.
It was a big disappointment.
Yep. I don't know. I have a hard time watching John Hutchinson these days.
Yeah, well,
he's been goofy in the past, but
well,
he's still in the.
Apparently, they were missing some parts. I don't know.
I don't know. I love his work.
Hey, go ahead, Phil.
Is he still in the news, John Hutchinson? Is he still
Hutchinson's in Canada, I thought.
Yeah, but is he still like active?
They got him back up and running with like a lab again. And he's been like noodling around, but he hasn't really done anything. Yeah.
I see his wife's up there talking, and then he's usually in the background, is what I've seen. Anyway, let's get on to something better.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up with the? Oh yeah, the X Factor. Did he show his device that he was talking about? He was able to save 30 watts from his device.
Oh, the green machine? Yeah. Yeah, we went from 46 watts and we reduced it to 16.
Yeah. Did you
Earlier.
show it already?
Yeah, we did it earlier. We ran, I think, 3 or 4 different tests. I zoomed in on the watt meter, the watt man or whatever, and it was pretty cool because I'd never seen it that efficient. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben was spinning that ball good. I saw it.
oh yeah.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
It gets so fast, it gets scary. And then I took it out. One of the tests, I took it out and I put it like I had it in my hand when I was reading the Wattman, and it was all the way underneath the table, in my hand, still spinning, like seriously, like 15, 20 seconds after, I took it out of the vortex. And then it just kind of like stopped really fast,
It'd be cool to do an egg shape, magnet.
That'd
Because
be
then
pretty
you
cool.
can get it to spin on its end, like on the fine end. Like if you spin a real egg, how it'll do that.
Well, yeah, then throw some water in there, make a little tornado. That'd be cool.
So yeah, something.
Put the little color dye in there and make it swirl.
Some liquid mercury in there, and throw a lid on it.
Give it a swirly.
Might as well convert it into an anti-gravity machine.
Whatever floats your craft.
I'll tell you what, man. We'll just watch this for a minute.
Oh yeah, what you got on now?
Yeah.
Still my favorite, Ben.
Sounds like it was shot in 2000 Jersey.
Oh, I should have gave Ben the alien head.
Oh, smoking it.
Free energy funk. Oh yeah.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Can't make that shit up.
No. Oh, Ben made the mistake of playing a clip when I saw it, and I went over there and go, yoink, we're taking that. That was so great. Huh. Oh,
Oh my God. I think for the next Star Trek episode, I think you have to have Star Trek Ben meet his alter ego cartoon self from his early videos.
oh, yeah. So
Put
great.
on
Yeah.
Q, the sort of god. Do you remember Q, the god that does whatever he wants?
Oh, man. That's just too funny, man. Yeah. Ben was talking about, what was it? He's going to tickle that Elmo on the
Yeah, in a little bit we'll tickle that Elmo.
Listen, man, you walked right into that one.
Oh, dude, he
Whatever
made it a
comes down
point
the
to say
pipe,
that
you
one.
knew it.
All right, guys,
That
we're
was-
almost done.
That one wasn't meant to be subtle. That was a free for all for Nathan.
Oh, man. All right, man, we're almost done with the show. I'm going to go ahead and play it. We'll do a little bit of Star Trek here.
But also remember, I sent you that video of that guy pumping the HV, the high voltage, into the Tickle Me Elmo.
Oh, my God.
God.
That was hilarious.
Oh, here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Captain speaking. Can I please have Ben and Gerald come to sick bay? There's been an accident. From what I understand, Ben, Leonardbot and Joe were on a planet and they were looking at alien phasers and trying to figure out how they worked. Apparently, one just went off.
That's interesting. No, that's very interesting.
Sean, what do you think of this situation?
I love it. Fry it and find out.
So do you think anything can be salvaged?
Or it doesn't allow for loss like other systems.
So, Joe, what really happened down
You
there?
that gun. So there were two versions of this, okay? There's the early version. All right. And then there's the now version.
Does the now version involve where his nuts got blown off?
And that once you get enough, once you get the 3 orbs and you get them locked in, they start building energy, and then ultimately,
So are you saying he grew an extra orb?
and it's these infrared. It's like the triangulation of these infrared arrays that causes the orbs to form.
That just sounds bad. Gerald, what do you think happened?
Well, we all know that negatives, they attract positive and negative. They come after each other like crazy, right? They're like
Yeah.
lovers in the wind that can never touch. So when those plants are growing and you're pumping negative energy into the bottom of it, how fast can they grow? How big can they grow?
Wow, that's just disturbing. So, Sean, is there any way we can fix him up?
So we're going to take off those capacitors and add our own capacitor. And as we lower that capacitance, then that pulse you were talking about increases, and therefore we can pull out the power out of the Tesla coil.
I just want to stop and recognize how adorable that circuit is. It's so awesome. It's sleek. It's, dare I say, a sexy circuit.
It is. I really believe there's an aesthetic quality to electrical circuits.
Okay, enough drooling. Now that you got the front fixed, how are you going to fix the back?
You can put something in the middle, like let's say if you want to test it with a screwdriver tip, you can put it right into that coil, and then it'll start to get hot. And so it's called an induction heater.
I don't know about you, but I sure don't want a screwdriver there. Hey, Gerald, how would you fix it?
What you would do is you would plastic the floor, the ceilings, and the walls, okay?
Sounds
You would
bad.
seal it like a freaking bubble. You tape every seam, you staple it to the walls, the whole 9 yards. Then what you do is you'd have a small intake hole for your air intake and a big exhaust. And you would put a mass blower on that exhaust.
Well, that doesn't sound exactly right.
Well, the small hole. That's the return.
The small hole's the intake, the big hole's the exhaust. Just got the sound effect.
Yeah, I see that on the O-scope. That's crazy. And look at those arcs. They're insane.
Yeah,
Bad.
you'll
Get off
notice
your
that they're sword shaped, and that's the shape you'll get with AC on this kind of coil. This is 3.5 inch wide. I'm sorry, 3.5 inch diameter, about 9 inches of PVC pipe wrapped with 34 gauge wire.
Long and
What does
thin.
that tell you about Tesla and that big, gigantic, fat rod you just talked about? Okay, sorry, sounded so bad.
I was trying to stay away from that. Go ahead.
Yep. In a little bit, we'll tickle that Elmo. But for now,
Tickling his elbow with high voltage. I saw it last time.
That's funny.
Oh,
My goodness.
oh.
snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah! It's the perfect ending. It's the perfect ending.
Boy, yo, I'm so red.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
It's like I went tanning.
It was so funny, man. That's absolutely the best one, man, so far, besides the shrooms. Oh, oh. The best part was when Sean goes over there and describes everything. It's it Ben's on all fours looking at it. Yeah, I'm admiring you.
My favorite part is when Ben starts, he's like, oh, that's like the nice circuit. That's like a sexy circuit. I'm like, the dude's a coil sexual, you know? Like,
Oh,
I love it.
Made that,
Keep 'em up, Ben.
he made that sensor bar pretty big. That's a fat coil.
oh, It's all for the comedic effect. Absolutely hilarious, man. I couldn't resist, man.
That was
They-
great, man.
They put too much good stuff in there. And then
Coil sexual.
how Sean says everything so precise and straightforward, man, made it even better. Oh, wow. All right, guys. It's about 2 hours. It's been awesome. Hopefully everybody got a good laugh in the show.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking more about these drones tomorrow. So I had to save some material somehow, even though we talked about it for hours.
Oh yeah, you guys always have more to talk about. I know there's always so much more to say. We never have time to say it all. So I look forward to what you guys have continuing tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I saw a couple interesting things that I think everybody will be excited to see. So
Awesome. Yeah. Let's reveal the secret codes tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, Joe's got him flying over his house. Maybe they'll visit him tomorrow or something.
oh man, like I look out the windows here and there's all sorts of stars and stuff. You wouldn't even be able to pick a UFO out of the bunch of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, to go outside and sit still and just sit still like for 5 minutes, then you get like a feel of what is stable, what is not. Then you'll start to see the weird, if you've got very.
Yeah, definitely. But it's also like 8 degrees Fahrenheit here, so I don't know how much of that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's either
it's
seen
cold.
from my window or it's not.
Fair.
Oh, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Right on, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you in the chat, guys, for everything. It's been awesome. You guys got anything going on for the next couple of days, or just me and Joe tomorrow?
Yeah,
Not
let's
really.
log in tomorrow and
What time is your show tomorrow?
same thing.
10 a.m.
1 p.m. Eastern time,
Central, it would be.
somewhere in between.
Yeah,
I'm a dick. I'm sorry, Lulu.
with
It's all right.
It's Central time.
wow. 10 a.m. California time, so Pacific Standard Time. So Central Time is probably an hour or two later.
Yeah, I think it's like an hour after me.
12, I think. It's 12 for our time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already. So let's resume that tomorrow. And yeah, nice to talk to you guys today. That was great. And yeah, let's kill it tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's going to
for
be
sure.
a fun one.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, guys, shameless plug. I put a teaser out on my channel of me making tacos. It's the start of my channel. It's not the first episode. My content overall is going to be a lot more diverse than that and not like a 2-minute video. However, if you can go check out the video, like, comment, subscribe, there'll be more stuff coming out that's probably a little bit more appropriate for the group, might get your attention. But for now, I think that me making tacos is a pretty righteous cause.
I like tacos.
Yeah, plus my intro video. So
Sounds
Uh-huh.
good to me.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a plan. Yeah.
Hold
yep,
on one
check it out,
second.
like, comment, subscribe, appreciate it.
I got, there you go. I just put your
His
Oh,
like
there it is.
page
thank
right
you
there in the
kindly.
chat. There you go.
It's a little on the risque side for this. I asked Nathan to play it earlier. I wouldn't ask him to play it a second.
Don't ask me to play the lady making the sandwich. That was too much.
No, first of all, that's an inside joke because you have to have seen the girl who makes the sandwiches a couple times in order to get the joke. So either that or just be acting weird.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Always something different.
Yep.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
Peace and love.
Peace.